Welcome to episode 2, and there's trouble ahead in this one. Trouble with a double T, because there's a new format for the TT coming into force this year. And boy, oh boy, it doesn't look pretty.
Frank, you're a motorsport maniac, aren't you? What's happening at the TT next year? Timetable changes galore. It's all turned upside down.
Yes, it is indeed. It's a massive change. There are two massive changes. Number one, Mad Sunday is no more. There's racing on Sunday. I know we had racing on Sunday in the past, right? But that was always an exception. Now it's part of the schedule. And the probably bigger change even is senior race day is a Saturday.
Well, Bank Holiday Friday meant a thirsty Thursday for a lot of people. And then, of course, Mad Sunday, it got less mad. And I think last year we hardly had any, what should we say, bad collisions, accidents, incidents, and what happened on the course. And I think there was a success there. So maybe easing away from that Mad Sunday label is a good thing.
Yes and no. Yes, Mad Sunday hasn't been really mad for years. We all know that ever since the mountain became one way, it became much, much safer, and it was a great decision to do that. If you think back now, it's mental to think it was ever two-way during TT. What were they thinking, right? If you look back now, it's how times change. But really, all the other events that are on at Mad Sunday is an events day. That's where you go to Peel, that's where you go to Port Erin, that's where you go down to Ramsey for all the other side events that, form part of this huge cultural phenomenon that is the TT. And all of them are basically now buggered.
So that's right, yeah, Peel Day was a huge day.
Yeah, they're all, there were so many events on Mad Sunday.
So there's going to be a lot of businesses who are going to miss out on that, yeah? Maybe.
Yeah, and they're already not happy. I mean, just look in the news, Jesus Christ, people are not happy with the new format.
But surely there was a consultation about this.
There were two of them.
And?
The first one, I believe there were only 13 entries. And so the government was like, okay, that didn't work. So they did another one. And while that was probably a little better, what I didn't like, what made me feel uncomfortable, was how the minister, Laurie Hooper, recently was on the radio, and he was being asked as like, so you did this new consultation? Yes. So did you ask everyone? Like, did you ask the riders, the marshals, the organizers, the tourists? Did you approach them and ask them about it? And his reply was a bit too political for me, because he replied that the consultation was open to them. That is politics speak for, we put it on the website, but we didn't actually ask anyone. I don't know if that's true, but it sounds like that.
On the Isle of Man, we seem to be suffering from death by consultation. Every time you open up, something on a government website or an email, if you're in that kind of circle, it's a consultation. It's a consultation. I don't have time to do that. I've done the odd one or two, and it's like sapping, say, 10 minutes out of your life into some inane rubbish that doesn't even concern you.
No, I do think consultations are a very good and useful tool to get info.
Who's got
you
time
should
to do
make
that?
time. If you care about the event, then get on Facebook for 10 minutes and fill in the TT consultation.
Someone who say lives in Governor's Hill or is more worried about when the bin's going to be emptied. They're not going to have time to do some stupid consultation when they're feeding the kids and doing the shopping and their chores.
What they should really have done is really actively go to everyone and ask them to fill it in. Get someone to email all the riders, to email all the, Marshal Association, the ambulance, all the other thousands of people, and said, like, guys, we need your input. And I don't think that has happened. From what I've heard from the various people I deal with, and if you know my other channel, I love the TT, and I deal with people in the TT, I know people in the TT. I don't think that has happened. They just changed this, thinking government always knows best, right? They always think they know best. And they're just like, oh, this is going to bring us more tourists. But they ignored a lot of things.
And a lot of people are displaced. I mean, one of my favourites about the end of the TT is the Southern 100 event. And that's been kicked into touch, yeah?
Well, the post-TT races.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are, gone, which they were, again, part of that culture, right? People stayed on to watch the post, and they were just like, we don't need that. And I'm not totally comfortable with the new thing. Also, I'm not sure the new schedule is good for people who visit us from the continent, and there's more and more of them. So if you are a German or French or Spanish motorbiker and you come over here on your bike, in the current format, you stay Friday, you watch the senior race, then you hop on the Ben McCree Saturday morning, You're in Hull Saturday afternoon, hop on the ferry to Rotterdam. You're back in continental Europe Sunday morning. You have all Sunday to ride home. Monday, you're back at work. We're Germans, right? We want to go back at work on Monday. That's how they used to travel, all my German friends. And now they go like, why is it on a Saturday? I can't make it back home on time. I have to take more holidays. That's stupid.
So what happens if the race on Saturday is rained off? What happens then?
That's a really good question. Are we going to do Sunday? Do we expect all the marshals to then stay on? There are so many questions. I can sort of see what they were trying to do, but I'm not sure. Maybe we're all wrong. Maybe it's going to be fantastic, but there are just things that make me uncomfortable about this format.
I'll tell you what, anyone involved in public service, or say it could be the marshals as well, so it means their duties are extended one day further or 2 days further. So will that mean a little bit more compression on the planes and the sea travel, the number of seats available? Where's it going to appear?
Well, that's the other thing. So if you look at the figures, I have statistics somewhere, someone printed them off for me, about 30% of races are usually postponed or not happening on time, mainly because of weather. So there's always delays. And B, there is only a fixed capacity to get people on and off the island. So they want to grow the TT and bring more people over, and that's laudable because it's more money and more fans for the TT. And there's a new generation of fans, many Americans coming over. So many people recognized me this year, the Red Hat. And so many of them are from America, which I've never seen before. So it's great, it's working. But they want to bring all these new people over here, and they ignore realities. And the reality is, at the moment, you can only get 3,000 people on and off the island per day. Now, when they get the new boat, that's going to go up a little, maybe to 3.5, 4. But that's it. So that's your capacity. So if you're still here on a Sunday, then it may be Wednesday, Thursday, Friday before you can physically get off the island.
Some big questions there, because it is a bucket list holiday for many people around the world, and the audience has changed. You don't get those big motorcycle groups like you used to. A lot of it is quite corporate, quite touristy.
Have you actually noticed that? I mean, you've done a TT longer than me. I've only been here 20 years. Have you noticed there's a different type of fan now, right?
So think about the 1980s when I was in public service, and the 1990s, where you'd have the large groups of motorcycles, and it would be kind of a bit of a public order kind of thing going on. And then certainly, in the last 10 years, I think with the advent of YouTube and, like the Connor Cummins famous video and what have you, people will come here, and they come in here, they don't know a great deal about the bikes, but they just want to savour the atmosphere. But these people are also like doing bull running in Pamplona, and they're that sort of calibre. They're not really motorcycle lovers, if you like. So, yeah, things have changed. Some big questions, I guess, to come. We'll have to cover the TT again, but I think I've just got this thing in my head. Is the Quarterbridge Road going to get resurfaced at any time? We'll just leave it at that. That's one just to hang out there. But come on, let's revisit that for a future episode.
For now, we hope that this year's TT will be a success, that the new format will work out.
6 months to go. Can you believe that?
And, the other thing is, if you know me, I'm never a fan of this whole VIP thingy, because for me, TT is sitting on a hatch with a beer, watching bikes fly by and not pay a penny for it. That's the beauty of it. But I appreciate this new audience that we get. They want a bit more comfort. Should we give it to them, or should we be hardcore?
No. They want to go out in the country. So I've been lucky. I got this ace job at TT. I'm really lucky. I'm so grateful for that. And you can be looking after people. And if you can go to the most sort of rural backwater, or whether someone who's got a very well-placed front garden or something like that, or a hedge that's perfectly appointed, you're just giving them something that is totally unique. Because when they've got a bike screaming past them, within 6 feet, and it's going at 168 mile an hour on one wheel, well, you can't beat that. They're never going to see that anywhere else.
That's actually, that's still what makes TT, right? But if the future audience wants more comfort, what should we do? Audience, you tell us. Should the TT, let us know in the comments, should the TT stay true to its roots, get rid of all this VIP stuff, or should we embrace these wealthy new fans, this new type of fan that we get, less biker, more lawyer, and business people and, wealthy travelers, business class rather than leather-clad bikes? Should we embrace them? Should we be hardcore? What should we be?
Isle Man needs the money. I know where my vote is.
Well, we're looking forward to your comments, suggestions. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I think we'll leave it at that for episode 2.
And don't hold back.
And we'll see you next time.